Donald Trump's tariffs are going into full effect, the stock market is crashing, people are losing jobs, and everyone is wondering whether or not we are headed for a United States recession. What's up guys, it's Crypto Dave here with the top tier, and in this video I want to talk about whether or not I think we are at risk for a recession, some of the warning signs you might want to look out for, and whether or not we can view all the bearish narratives as a buying opportunity within markets. And guys, if you enjoy this type of informative content, definitely subscribe to the channel, tick the little bell, you'll get notified every single time that we post. Without any further ado guys, let's go ahead and jump on into it. So to break it down very simply, Donald Trump has imposed tariffs primarily on Canada, Mexico, and China. These are the most notable of his tariffs, and they are primarily targeting the automobile industry as well as other sources of manufacturing and materials. Now, when a company has to pay a tariff, they're essentially paying a tax on imported goods. So if a United States-based auto manufacturer is getting its parts from Canada, they would then have to pay the tax on those parts that they are importing, incentivizing these companies instead to look within the United States. And so the thought process, at least for Donald Trump, is, hey, we're going to bring a lot of manufacturing and a lot of jobs back to the United States, and this is going to encourage a lot of growth in industries where the United States has been otherwise lacking for the past decade. Now, despite a very optimistic outlook by the president, many people disagree and speculate that the cost is instead going to be transferred to the consumer at the end of the day, and that there's not really going to be much of an impact to foreign countries or even to United States businesses. Naturally, this has brought about a lot of fear within the United States equity market. The stock market has been on a downward spiral for the past couple of weeks, and we're seeing some eerily similar market structure to that of 2021 where we had the COVID bubble. So who is actually right? Are these tariffs going to be a net positive or a net negative for the United States? The truth of the matter is that is yet to be foretold, and we're really not going to know until more time passes. And that's just the unfortunate reality. Markets are very predictive and forward thinking. So as these tariffs are put in place, the market responds, even though the tariffs really haven't had an impact on real economic data just yet, because they're just now being put into effect. And now I'm certainly no expert economist. I'm not going to sit here and say that the tariffs are going to be good or going to be bad. Truth is, there are probably going to be some good and some bad that comes out of it. But I think more than not, the market just needs the dust to settle. There is a lot of uncertainty right now, not just with the United States economy and the tariffs, but as well as the global tensions around the world. We have the Russia and Ukraine conflict, we have the conflict between Israel and Hamas, and we also have some pretty unhappy neighbors right now in Canada and Mexico, as well as some friends overseas in Europe. There are a lot of people that are not very happy with the United States right now, and there's just a lot of uncertainty. So naturally, forward-thinking markets are going to price this in rather aggressively. And while that might be a silver lining for markets, I do just want to share a rather bearish perspective to keep things on your radar. For one thing, Donald Trump has fired a ton of the federal government, and he plans to continue to fire members of the federal government. And if these members of the federal government struggle to find jobs in the private sector, we are very quickly going to see a rapid uptick in inflation, which has historically coincided with the previous recessions that we've seen throughout history. Our rate cutting cycle has been paused in response to some sticky inflation, but if people are losing jobs and there is the need for an ease in the monetary conditions, most likely than not, the rate cuts will continue, and this as well has coincided with several stock market crashes, as well as previous recessions throughout time. Last but not least, you also have the 10-year minus the 2-year yield curve. This is comparing the longer term yield to the shorter term yield of bonds and treasuries. And every so often we will see the 2-year yield actually yield higher than the 10-year yield, and we will see what is known as a yield curve inversion, where the 10 minus 2 is actually a negative number. Generally, when this metric starts to uninvert, i.e. the 10-year becomes higher than the 2-year, we also tend to see this lead to a recession. So we are getting a lot of historically consistent warning signs that we've seen time and time again, namely with unemployment, rate cutting, and the 10-year minus 2-year treasury yield. So guys, just keep an eye on that. Even though markets can be forward thinking and can present buying opportunities where there's a little bit too much fear in the market, it doesn't mean that this isn't the start of a longer term downward spiral, especially if Donald Trump's tariffs don't go as positively planned as he thinks they will. And again, I'm not here to say whether or not they're going to go well or going to go bad. I'm not going to try to predict the future, but right now that is causing a lot of uncertainty. And should these things get worse, and should our warning signs come into fruition, I truly think that a United States recession is on the forefront. And if you want to figure out how to prepare for a recession and understand how I'm strategizing during this difficult time, join the Discord down in the description below. You will not regret it. You'll get to interact with analysts such as myself, as well as plenty of other analysts between stocks, crypto, and Forex to help better your game. And guys, until the next video, I will catch you in the Discord. Peace.